I think most people are creative in one way or the other. A lot of people feel like they have a book in them, or they have a song in them, or they have a TV show idea. And you can sit around and talk about that all you want. But until it is actually reality, it doesn't count.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is that time once again. It is a Friday afternoon, so hopefully you guys are enjoying your Friday. Hopefully you guys are doing it safe and responsibly. But if you are doing it safe and responsibly, why not watch The Charge? Here on The Charge, guys, of course, we give you that latest NBA news and rumors and basketball opinions. We also go over kind of the situations that we have to talk about here today on the channel. We got some LeBron James news. We got some Nets news, kind of some Nets stats that'll kind of be a little bit crazy to think about when we really see the details of how the Nets really are plus-minus wise compared to a lot of these other teams. But like I said, it is Friday. We're just going to have a chill vibe today, depending on how many people come in. Hopefully you guys, like I said, are doing really well. So with that being said, let's move on to our first story here. Let me move us to a live scene really quick. So we got LeBron James in the news, and this is, of course, coming from ESPN, and this is just from LeBron James doing an interview. He talks about how the All-Star game or scheduling one during this pandemic is considered a slap in the face for this season. So in this article, the NBA and the NBAPA are moving fast forward with the 2021 All-Star game, I'll bet without the support of LeBron James. I have zero energy, zero excitement about an All-Star game this year, James said. I don't even understand what we're having here, why we're having an All-Star game. James had an All-Star game, or he's been playing in his All-Star game for 6 of his 17 previous seasons. He also questioned the quick turnaround from the 2021 season following the conclusion of the finals in October. Short offseason for myself and my teammates, 71 days, James said. And then coming into the season, we were told we were not having an All-Star game, so it'd be have a nice little break, 5 days. An opportunity for me to kind of rehabilitate and recalibrate, I should say, second half of the season, and my teammates as well, some of the guys in the league. And then to throw an All-Star game on us like this just breaks that all the way up, so I'm pretty sure it's kind of a slap in the face. And that's so LeBron James is not a fan of the All-Star game, and you know what? I don't blame him and the Lakers specifically to be mad or to be happy with this, because I understand their frustration as to why they don't want it, right? They've only had so little of a break. I get his perspective of it, but in terms of, I would say, the rest of the guys that didn't get to play that much long, I think it's a great warm welcome to them, and I think it's a way, I think Turner and all these sports companies want that money. We know that that's probably the only way that the NBA is going to get the full, I would say, benefits of that TV deal. And unfortunately, this is kind of the casualty of this, is the expense of the players. And from LeBron James' perspective, I agree with his take of he doesn't want to participate. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him if he just says, you know what, I'm not going to play it. I'm going to have someone else kind of step in. And you know what? I think everyone would know that he is an all-star, that he just deferred a spot to someone else, which I think would be a nice touch. I think a lot of the Lakers, I think Anthony Davis would be the other one as well. Where I could see him just saying no as well. But the other guys I don't see saying no, because, this is an opportunity to get in front of people, get in front of the fans. We know that this is going to be taking place in Atlanta. They've agreed to it. And maybe Chris Paul and LeBron James saw it in different lights. Maybe Chris Paul saw it as, it's an opportunity for the fans to get to see us in person. We get to have a crowd finally, where, these All-Stars, they probably want that cheer or jeer, whatever reaction they want from the fans. That's essentially what they want. And unfortunately for, I would say, LeBron James, is that I think a lot of players want it, but I don't think he wants it necessarily. And, I don't blame them. Like I said, the Lakers were expecting that kind of 5-day break at the beginning of the season. They said, you know what, we're not going to do an All-Star game. We're going to vote for the All-Stars, have it count as like your All-Star for your record or for whatever you want to call it. but we're not going to play the game. But then now the NBA PA was just trying to, they're trying to insert some rules. They're trying to insert some things. So they are, trying to appease some of the players that do want that All-Star game. And, like I said, not everyone's going to agree with it. I definitely agree with it just due to the fact that I think it allows other players and other players from different teams to kind of have a chance to kind of get in front of the spotlight that we don't normally see usually, right? For the most part, we're not seeing every single person's game on national TV. Like, I don't think we've ever seen a Hornet Nets, a Charlotte Hornets game, on national TV. Like, they may have seen one just because I think it was Lonzo's brother, if I'm not mistaken. It was like the Lonzo LaMelo game. But you know what I mean? Like, those games aren't very nationally televised. Like Gordon Hayward, as much as I dislike him, he's having a great season. He's kind of showing and proving me wrong about the way he's playing. And, I would say he's close to playing like an all-star for them. So, as it pertains to what we're seeing here in the NBA, I just think that's a great idea. Guys like Colin Sexton might be able to get an all-star vote. There's so many guys that could get that all-star vote. So many guys that could definitely use this as a platform to get them up, try to get their bag up, try to get their money up. So, like I said, I understand from LeBron's perspective as to why he doesn't want it. It could be a super spreader event. But the thing is, for me, is that and I think they've talked about it. I think there's a list of like the rules for this all-star game. But, if I'm them, if I'm looking at it, I'm looking at this as an opportunity to get better, looking as an opportunity to, have fans in the stadium. Like I said, the only one caveat with that would be making sure that the fans are not on the court side. I'd rather have them up in the bleachers, up in the stands, watching with the rest of us plebeians, just because they think they have so much money that they're above and beyond the rules. It's like, no, let's keep the players safe. Have those fans on the court side move into the stands or into the seats, because you're only allowed a 20% capacity anyway. So why don't you have them sit there and then have staff, ball boys, like all those people down on the floor? I think that's probably the more appropriate way to do it. Yes, it'll be hard to have like the ushers kind of dictate and help out with if there is a courtside Karen. We'll see if that Karen's allowed back into the stadium. I'm sure they're going to be there for All-Star Weekend. But I'm hoping that, they do something with that. But at the end of the day, it is going to be up to, I would say, the players if they do want to get up for this. I know LeBron James said he wasn't going to get up for it, but that doesn't mean that the other guys won't and try. And especially if they do it like last year's All-Star game, it was a tremendous success. Ultimately at the expense of, kind of remembering the great Kobe Bryant. But I thought it was a great way to honor him. I thought it was a great way to change up the game. And I think that's the way that you should play it. The thing that I'm worried about too, from LeBron's perspective, is more so not so much the rest, because I think they'll get the rest either way. Because I think maybe LeBron just says, hey, I'll play like my 5-10 minutes and then everyone else go have at it. For me, it's going to be, are these players going to be away from the distractions? Are they going to be away from the partying? Are they going to be away from, being with people, going to these clubs, going to, the strip clubs, going to birthday parties, doing all these things, and really just saying, what, we're here to play basketball, enjoy our time, and then we move on. And if they can't do that, then I think that the NBA is going to be in some serious trouble, and then you're going to see a lot more players test positive. I know not a lot of players have tested positive since the 27th of January, so that's a good sign to see. But at the same time, you just want to make sure that these players are taking these precautions seriously, that they're not, screwing themselves over, for lack of a better term, to not get sick, keep themselves. Because, LeBron James, hasn't tested positive. He's been doing it the right way, and there's a reason why he's been playing so many games. Like, yes, the virus doesn't necessarily attack people or attack, individuals, or says, it's LeBron James, we're not going to attack him. But, it will be interesting to see, what will happen, as it pertains to, maybe LeBron James sees this as a super spreader event and says, I appreciate the offer, but I'm going to have to decline. And you know what? That's his right. And I think that's kind of the thing that I want to get across, guys, is that, yes, these players may be upset. They may be frustrated with the way things are going, but at the same time, I think they just have to kind of, roll with the punches, in my opinion. But again, that is just my opinion, guys. So, like I said, leave a comment, leave a like in the comment section down below. We will be kind of going over it and kind of seeing what the situation is as it pertains to the NBA and what they're going to try and do from here on out. Now, if we move on to our next story, which we will talk about, we're going to talk about a couple things. I think I'll save I want to save this Nets one here, but just the +4 and 155 minutes with all three of those players. I think that's a very interesting one to talk about at the end of the series. But I just kind of want to talk about this. I think this is a little sad here. We got Matthew Dellavedova, obviously one of the key role players for the Cavaliers back when they won their championships. He's considering retirement as he remains out with symptoms stemming from a serious concussion suffered on December 12th. So he's endured multiple concussions during his 7 NBA seasons. Matthew Dellavedova, I know a lot of people call him dirty. I know a lot of people are not a big fan of him, but man, it is sad to see that, concussions, especially in a game of basketball where, normally we don't really hear about concussions, right? We hear about it more in football, more in soccer, or football if you guys are from the European side of things. But, it is a sad state of affairs to see that, Matthew Dellavedova is going to be considering retirement due to the fact that, we saw how happy he was, how excited he was when he won the championship, how excited he was when he got that big contract, moved over to the Bucks and Milwaukee Bucks, that is. And, it's just sad to see that now from, 7 years in this NBA season that he's going to consider retirement when I believe he's 31 years old. Maybe a little bit older than that. But, he wants to play for Australia. I know that he's probably one of the top guards for Australia. So like I said, it is a sad state of affairs to see that Matthew Dellavedova won't be able to get that opportunity to play for Australia. And, he's only on a 1-year deal, $2.1 million. We don't know if that's fully guaranteed or not. At least I don't. Maybe someone can fact check me in the comments, whether you're watching it now or whether you're watching it later. Fact check me and just see if his contract's fully guaranteed, because that would suck if his contract's not fully guaranteed, because then they could just say, all right, Dellavedova, see ya, bye-bye. And then he's done. And so at the end of the day, it will be, like I said, a sad state of affair to see if Matthew Dellavedova's career ends just like this. But again, guys, let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys make of the story? Are you sad for Dellavedova? Were you one of those Dellavedova haters just because you felt like he was dirty? Like I said, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Now, the one thing I did want to do here is I wanted to go on YouTube, and there is some Chet Holmgren highlights that we need to look at. Chet Holmgren is going to probably announce his decision soon. He's kind of a unique player, right? As a 7-footer, still very raw, in my opinion. Still needs to work on his game. And we'll kind of look at this. I was watching a little bit of it, but we are going to watch it here on the channel today. To kind of give you guys a full, I would say, understanding of who this kid is. Him, Amani Bates. I know Paulo Blanchero here from Seattle. He goes to O'Day. I know that he's being heavily recruited. And this is one of the guys that's being recruited as well. He might be going to Gonzaga. He might be going somewhere else. But we'll kind of look at this game and kind of critique how he is, how he's playing. The interesting thing about it is that they are wearing masks when they're playing. So it is going to be interesting to see. They don't have to wear it on their face, it looks like, fully. They just have to wear it as a chin diaper, I guess. I'm not sure if I understand what the point of that is, but I guess, if they decide to put it over their face, it is what it is. But let's see here. We're going to skip the introductions because obviously we're just here to watch Chet. Again, you see there, chin diaper. One guy's actually wearing his mask properly. So Chet there. I would love to see a full game and not just watch the highlights. I mean, here, this is where it's a little bit, he needs to work on his strength. Like, if we just kind of watch this here, I'm not sure if I really wish we could see, how this was set up. Okay, so I want to see if he came off a screen or what was the action in this set, because it would be, like I said, it would be interesting to see what he's running this action to. So obviously coming off either a curl or he's just coming off somebody's screen. Yeah, it looks like he did set a screen because of the way that this dude with the blonde hair is kind of set up. And I just think here, as someone that's 7 foot dealing with probably this guy's maybe 6'4", 6'5", I just think he needs to be a little bit better of a passer. I mean, this is just kind of looking at this again. It's a little too predictable the way that he passes here. he kind of stares it down instead of, kind of, going up for a drive because he's so lengthy, right? This kid is like probably got a 7-foot wingspan, if that. Maybe he has a longer wingspan, maybe he has a shorter wingspan, but it's long enough to where I think if he can fake the drive, go to it, and then, as he sees the guy cuts in, then dump it off. And I just don't think that, we need to see a little bit more of that as it pertains to Chet Holmgren. Like I said, this is too predictable. Ball almost gets stolen, but luckily he's able to get it. That guy finishes. Good for that guy for finishing that because, that pass should have been a little bit earlier and it would have probably been a cleaner finish. Like I said, it sucks to see that we don't get the full highlight. We don't get the full, like, court. We just get this, like, closed in. Like, I understand it's highlights. I get it. But again, it is frustrating to see that that's the case. Again, I think he is good. Like, here's the thing. This dude's probably a smaller guard. Like, his defensive stance right there is just, it's not good. It's not good at all. You see that he's very narrow. He's not a very wide player. He's a very narrow player. And you can see by the way that he walks. You can see by the way that he doesn't really get himself fully extended. And that's the reason why this guy was able to beat him. Look at this. Doesn't sit in that chair instantly. And that's the reason why this guy's able to go by him. And he's now playing catch up where the low man wins, and now he's not being able to block that shot, where I think that he could have had an opportunity to block that. I understand that he's upset at his teammate in that instant, but still, you got to do a better job of getting yourself in that stance to get in front of him. I mean, yes, maybe you're not the fastest, but you are long enough to where you could beat him to the spot, and you could force him, with your length and your size, you're able to force him maybe to take a bad shot or make a bad pass. I mean, here, try and beat him to about this area right here. Try and get in here, because then what will happen is that now this guy will be kind of like, oh shoot, okay, maybe I have to take a jump shot here, but maybe he's not the best shooter. Maybe he's more of a driver. And here, he does a good job. Number 23 does a good job of using his offhand, not like to really push, but to really block it. Not where he's like moving his hand so it's an offensive foul, but more so having it there so he doesn't get. So he can kind of like shield it, and then he gets hit, foul, and one. And he needs to, like I said, Chet needs to do a better job of being in front, because he still, to me, looks like a baby giraffe out there with the way that he moves. Not really moving fluidly as you would see kind of like these quicker guards. And that will concern me a little bit as he moves up in the level, especially as someone that wants to be a passer, someone that wants to be a dribbler. If he doesn't have that lateral quickness, I think he's going to be in trouble in the NBA. So we'll see if he can develop that as he continues to progress. I know I said highlights are not necessarily the best thing. Good pass. Okay, that guy's got a good 2-foot stand dunk. Okay, I see you. He's definitely got a good sense of timing. Again, needs to sit in that chair. They're gonna try and, well, I don't even know what they were trying to do there. Trying to ice the ball screen here. I mean, it was kind of like, so we see here, we're gonna see there. Maybe it wasn't even an ice, to be honest with you, because I guess it was an ice. It was a little bit of an ice. Trying to get him there, crossover. Good finish by that guy. Number 23, number 22. Good finish. Good finish by number 15. Again, we're going to see what this play is. Basically, just lob it up to your big man. It's looking like it. No. Okay, good spin move, big fella. I see you. Let's see if Chet does anything in this highlight. It would be nice to see. I'll have to look at Minnehaha. I guess that's the name of the team. Yeah, Minnehaha Academy. Okay. I'll have to look up what that means, but seems like number 12 is the more aggressive one. But we'll see. We'll see if we watch these highlights. Not bad. The one thing I would say on that drive, not to criticize him, good. Whoops, I went too far. You know, as someone that is, however tall he is, 7 foot tall, I'm not sure how smart it is to bring it all the way down. Like here, I understand he needs to do that, crab dribble hop step into that finish. But what I would like to see from a guy like Chet Holmgren is to see him kind of keep it above his head, because these guys are not taller than him at any point. Maybe this number 32 is like 6'4", 6'5". I would love to see kind of more, a little bit above his head. I understand, he's strong enough, he's long enough to where these guys are like trying to play his body. They really should be trying to play the ball. I don't know. That'd be a coaching adjustment that I would make, but it does seem interesting to see that, that was a good finish, through contact. But again, defensively, he just seems a little too tall, doesn't get in that chair the way that I would like it to. See here, getting many opportunities to shoot the rock, hit the bank. Trying to see here. Like I said, I would love to see like a full blown on highlight. Or not full blown, but I like to see it more. I'm trying to think of the right word, like more blown out, so I can see it, more of a coach's cam view. Jumper looks pretty, man. I think the jumper has definitely improved since that Amani Bates game. Obviously, here's number 15, number 10, giving you a tomahawk. Good block by Chet. Good timing. See if this leads to anything. That guy had all the time in the world. He even thought about like, should I shoot this? Again, there we go. Like I said, I want to see more of a blowout so I could see and really assess the offense. But again, they're trying to run this sort of, trying to get in the ball at the hop, kind of almost like I wouldn't say like a Jokic in terms of like trying to get. I love to see maybe just not strong enough. I mean, look at this. Again, something that, you should always teach your big men. And this is something that, I would harp on any big man that's watching this. If you're watching it now, watching it later, watching it 10 years later, it doesn't matter. The game has evolved to now where these guys are not going to give up on the play, right? I mean, look at that. Leaves it hanging for a guy that's probably about, head level with the ball. You can easily just pop it out. And so you need to see a little bit more protection of the ball. You need to see Chet Holmgren really use, above his head. I understand that he's one of those bigs that can dribble and kind of set the offense on his own. But it would be good for him. I mean, this guy is like, a scrawny number was that 31. He's a little bit scrawnier. Like he's about the same scrawniness as Chet Holmgren, but you would expect Chet to still at least hold on to the ball, keep it tight. Even if he doesn't keep it above his head, at least keep it tight so he's able to hold on to it. And then, kind of let everybody clear out, look, be aware of your surroundings. I know you want to push it up the court, but just be aware of where you were on that rebound, right? Because if we look back, I think this is the instance right here, right? Shoots the shot. Oh, that's the wrong one. I think we'll see it right here. We'll see where it comes off the rim. Obviously, it's a close game. Nah, not there. Maybe we already missed it. Maybe we already missed it. Maybe it's here. Let me see if this is it. Nope, 31, making some good plays. Ooh, good block by that guy, but good offensive rebounding there by the team. I think let's see here. No, they're running. Okay, I get you. So we have one guy. So from the highlight that I can see, I know it's a little bit blurry just because of, or not blurry, but you can't see the full court. So basically what they're doing is they're making sure that Chet doesn't get the ball in the low post. They bring the weak side man's help man over all the way. And, smart on this guy to start creeping in a little bit. You can see here, the spacing out. Obviously, the spacing would be at the 3-point shot, be at the corner, trying to get that three. But good spacing by this guy to kind of cut in a little bit, and then use his strength, use his body, finishing. Good finish by number 11. One thing that I really want to point out for any of my shooters out there, for anybody that's really like a 3-point shooter, please, 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 I don't ever want to see that hop. And the reason why, and let me just make sure that I'm looking at it correctly before I criticize this guy, is you should already be in your shooting motion. You should already be looking ready to shoot the rock without using that hop. Like, you can use the hop before you get the ball, but the problem was that as soon as he got it, then he gathered himself and then shot. You should already be ready, loaded up, already have done that hop, and then as soon as it comes to your hands, you should be able to use that transfer of energy to go up and then shoot the rock. So I would love to see that more from shooters out there. Is just, don't rely on that hop so much, because they will potentially call it a travel if you don't be careful. So just kind of want to see a little bit more of that from other guys. Let's look at here. We got Chet again at the top, taking the screen. Good shot by that guy, number 25. Good shot. Big fella, just going to take it. You can already tell that's a football kid right there. Ooh. Okay. I like this. Look at this. You got 22, you got 3 guys in here. Send a screen. Got an open guy down there with those shoes. Yep. Boom. Yeah, bad help defense there. Set a screen. Nothing you can do by that one. That's a good shot. Good unselfish basketball right there. I believe they're the Red Hawks. You got the Red Hawk on there. A little bit of bad defense there. Again. Oof. Get a foul and one. Again, most of these guys are wearing it like chin diapers. I don't even know what the point of wearing masks is. And if they're just wearing it like a chin diaper, why would you even want like just have them put them on like on the bench? I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too critical of that stuff, but it's just like this guy's just wearing it as a chin diaper. He's not even wearing it right. But I mean, again, like I said. Good take. Good finish by that guy. Probably some bad defense as well, but ooh. Oof. Yo, number 32. Okay. Okay, 32. I see you. Jump shot looks a little funky, but hey, man, what if it goes in? It goes in. You can't hate on it. Okay, so Chet, I think Chet has definitely improved from the last game that I saw him play against Amani Bates. It would be interesting to see like this team. I don't know if he played with these exact guys against Amani, but I would love to see a rematch with those guys and Amani, or sorry, with those guys, with Amani's team and this team, to kind of combat and probably have a good game. Honestly, ooh, that looked like a goaltend, but maybe I'm mistaken. Obviously, now here you got to press, try and force a turnover. Obviously, it doesn't work, and now they get an easy bucket out of it. Again, just kind of similar situation that I'm seeing here. I think from what I'm seeing, obviously this game kind of gets out of hand just because they just we didn't watch the whole game, so we don't honestly know what the whole situation was. But at the same time, the thing that I noticed in that game was that, I think he definitely has improved since his game against Amani Bates. I criticized his Amani Bates game because it looked like he was a little bit like a giraffe out there. It still does a little bit to an extent, especially on defense. But I do appreciate that he has improved a lot. This is senior year, I believe. Yeah, because I think he's in the same year as Paulo. Like I said, it would be interesting to see like what team he decides to go to. Like, will it be Gonzaga? Will it be, going to the G League? I think I would say probably going to a college team would probably be better for him. Not just due to the fact that, it's one of those like, oh, he's bad, or like he's very raw, but he's very raw. Like I would say that he like probably in terms of a prospect for NBA type of stuff, I think he's very raw and still needs to work on some things, work on getting his speed up, work on, kind of the little things that can get him to the next level. Like I said, I don't like the fact that he, as a big, I understand, that if he's going to facilitate the offense, you see Jokic. But the thing with Jokic, and the thing you'll notice whenever Jokic grabs a rebound, he always holds it above his head, waits, and then goes, right? He's not one of those guys that'll kind of put it on the floor right away. You did see a couple instances like that. But for the most part, you see that. Let me just double check really quick. Just kind of from what I'm seeing, like I said, it's one of those things that I wish that he would just, instead of, holding the ball down here, then going, like he should really wait, clear out, wait. If he gets the rebound, unless you have a good fast break, then you can pass up the court. You just need him to kind of just dribble, not really do, or not dribble, but more so, I'm trying to think of the right word. Like hold it, clear it, wait till everybody's out, then he can go. And I just think that that's what he needs to do in order to, get a better situation. And so, like I said, it will be interesting to see how he grows. One player that I did want to check was Amani Bates. Actually, I want to see if Paulo has played yet. Looks like he just played 30 points against Minnesota Prep. Let's see this game. Paulo definitely he's definitely gotten a lot bigger since I've seen him at O'Day. Good take it. Like the thing for him is like I never doubted his athleticism. I don't think that was kind of the thing that I doubted. For me, it was more so like the shooting and the spacing. Can he get it down? And we'll see what happens. Especially off catch and shoot. Like, can he be good on all fronts and not just a pickup dribble? Good shot. Let's keep watching here. See how Paulo does. This is. Again, this is already, like, to be honest with you, this is already an NBA player. The good news for a guy like Paulo, I'm glad that he's able to get some basketball out there and not just kind of, because right now in the Seattle area, we're just kind of still like I think seasons have got announced for his conference, and I think they've gone announced for ours. And it would suck for him because I know that he probably wants to win another state title. But obviously winning one is very impressive, nonetheless. But I'm sure he would love to have the senior year with all those guys and play good pass. Obviously, the guy was out of the picture just from a hard screen. But like I said, it would be nice to see him kind of play this year. But again, I don't blame. He's got to work on that move. It's a great move, but that guy had good hands too, so I can't really blame it too much. Little. I just kind of want to see the jumper improve a little bit more. Like it looks decent, but I would like to see a little bit more. Like if you look, it just kind of looks like he sets it here and then releases instead of just kind of having it full on. Like you can see when he shoots it, if he will shoot it. Because I know he's more of a dunker. I know he's more of a finisher at the rim. And so that's kind of just it in terms of like just Paulo. I know that that was just 30 minutes ago. Looks like he played against Xavier Lutheran. Let's check out these highlights really quick. Good half spin. Give himself that open space. He's probably going to pull up here. Yeah, see, like you look at the jump shot, it doesn't look too bad, but again, it's one of those like he sets it here and then releases, right? It's not like a smooth like shooter type of release. It looks like he gets it up to like this point and then shoots it. Like I think I'm trying to look at where his release point is at. If it's above his head or let's kind of watch this in slow motion because the only thing I want to see really is just where he like has the ball. Is it here? Is it more towards his face? Is it more up? So we're gonna watch it in half speed and see how this goes. Okay, good. That was the thing I was worried about, but luckily, he's kind of got one of those jumpers that's like it's like it's solid. I think that, like I said, again, he gets it to a point where it's like he sets it and then releases instead of kind of getting it up and then releasing it. He releases it almost like he gets it to a point 1-2. It's like a 1-2 jumper, and I'd like to see a little bit more fluidity. But again, that just might be my personal preference of how I like jumpers to be shot. But again, he's playing really well. I think it's a point guard from O'Day too, if I'm not mistaken. Here again, just watch a little bit before we go in. Is that dunk on? I don't know if that's his little brother or not. I think it is. Oof. Yeah, his man didn't do him any favors on that last one. Look at this. Here's the thing that also will say big mans. Make sure that and before you do any of your moves, make sure you clear out. Make sure that everything is cleared out of the way. Like, this guy should not be cutting in when this guy's about to make his move, because again, it brings his defender over and helps out, and like that's just an unnecessary turnover there. I mean, you gotta help your man out there a little bit. So and again, just kind of like looking at the highlights, and kind of we'll move on to our next story really quick. Uh, I think Paulo's going to be a great player at the next level. I think in the NBA, I think is more where he's going to shine and accelerate. I think college, I'm worried about him going to Duke just because I know Duke. I know it's a great program. I know what they're about, but I'm concerned that like right now, Duke and North Carolina are kind of two teams that usually are in the top 25 each and every year are not in it right now, and I just don't know if not saying that Coach K can't coach anymore, but just I'm starting to question some of the moves that they're making. I'm starting to question, maybe the offensive choices that they're going with, and just having Paulo ball out. And then I'm worried that that's not going to happen for him at Duke. I mean, obviously, I know that Coach K, you can't miss an opportunity when you go to Duke. I think Duke is one of those schools that a lot of kids would wish that they would go to, or UNC, just because of the historic program of guys like Jason Tatum, Brandon Ingram. And many of those guys that came through the Duke system and just performed and balled out. And those two examples being kind of the more recent ones for my younger audience here. But with that being said, let's talk about this story here, and that is the Brooklyn Nets just pull a +4 in 155 minutes with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving on the floor. The Brooklyn Nets are just +4 and a plus-minus rating during the first 155 minutes with James Harden on the floor with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Prior to the trade, the Nets were +72. So the trio has helped the Nets score 118 points per game per 100 possessions in those minutes, which nearly giving up as many as on defense. The trio has also combined to average 86 points per game since the trade. And like I said, this was always going to be the situation that I talked about, even when this trade before happened. The Brooklyn Nets are made more for their offense rather than their defense. And when they traded away those pieces, yes, they weren't the best defensive team. Like, even their ratings were really low before this trade happened. But at the same time, you see what happens when you do get rid of some of those guys. You do get rid of some of those players. You get this sort of +4 because their defense is just that awful. Like, luckily, their offense is good enough to where it gets them above that plus-minus range of the negative range. But still, it is, like I said, a little bit disappointing to see that defensively they need to start taking a little bit more pride. Like I said, the Brooklyn Nets, like I said, are a great offensive team. It's just defensively they need to step it up a little bit more because I know that these guys can. It's just a matter of effort, to be honest with you. Like, rebounding is an effort thing. If you're not willing to get the board, you're not willing to get yourself another chance at opportunity at offense, like that's on you. Like, if you don't want that opportunity, the other guys will take it. And so they need to definitely do a better job of rebounding. They can't just rely on DeAndre Jordan to rebound. He's an older player. He's not the young player, like I said, that he once was. And so relying on someone that's like 32, 33 years old, to get you those rebounds, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's really the way that you should go. Like I said, I would love to see, James Harden and especially Kevin Durant, with that 7 foot height out there to really grab those boards. I know that James Harden is going to be the one to really go grab him and go get him. And Kyrie Irving also needs to do his part as well. And some of the fans are saying they need somebody else to clean the glass and get the ball back and somebody to anchor the defense. Losing Allen Hurt, there are no shots for nobody, so it's defense, rebounding, role players they need. Just enough to slow the opposition a bit, not stop them. And he's absolutely right. You don't need to stop the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are not a team that you're trying to what's the right word? Like, it's one of those things where you're not trying to shut them down, not give up any points. It's more so kind of stop the bleeding a little bit so your offense can get a little bit more opportunities to attack. So that way you're not in a situation where, instead of, being up 12 with like 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, you're only up by 2 or 3 because your defense is just that atrocious. And that's the game that they play. I mean, they played it against the Brooklyn Nets. They played against the Wizards. Obviously, those games are in the past now. You forget about them. But it's going to be interesting to see how they do in the playoffs when you actually have to face the top 8 teams and see what you're going to have to do in order to get those stops, in order to do those things that they need them to be able to do. And so, like I said, will the Brooklyn Nets be better on defense? Who knows? But all I know is that offensively, they're probably going to be on pace to break some records. We'll see what records they break, but it will be fun to watch as we continue to monitor the Brooklyn Nets and seeing if they can or cannot get to the NBA Finals this coming season. But anyway, guys, that is probably going to do it here for the Charge. Thank you once again for joining me here. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream on a Friday. We had some viewers here and there, so I do appreciate everybody that's coming in to watch. Guys like Tyrese, Supreme Gamer, Eoy, I know that you're out there watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Logan, Brad, regulars on the channel, Gabby watching the video as well. But anyway, guys, Sean as well. But anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining. Please remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe. The more subscribers, the more likes, the more that YouTube says, hey, we like the Charge. We're going to recommend them to you. And it gets our voice out there, which is something that I'm looking forward to. I'm thinking about creating a Discord channel, and if you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to get a Discord started where we can kind of talk NBA. We can pull up questions if you have any questions after the stream or during the stream, so we can kind of talk about that, discuss it. So let me know if you are interested in a Discord server. Again, I will leave the Discord server on Monday. We'll talk about it. I'm probably going to create the channel on Monday. So you guys can join that and you guys can interact, have some fun, and also join us on the YouTube when we do go live on that Monday. But anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining me. We'll catch you on the next video, catch you on the next live stream. Have a great weekend. Be safe, and I'll catch you later. Peace.
I mean, when I was younger, I don't know how many songs I half wrote, but never quite finished, and never finished recording or never even started recording. And no one knows